and welcome to another TravelSiteOwners.com presentation. My name's Jason A. Martin and I'll be your host for this video. Hi there and welcome to the video presentation of the article, 2 Tips to Make Your Travel Site Seduce Visitors. If you'd rather read this article, you can head on over to TravelSiteOwners.com and that's where it's at. Alright, let's get started with the article. You know, competing for eyeballs and seconds can be a challenging but fun task in the online travel and tourism world. And over the course of this article, I'm going to share with you 2 great tips that will help your travel site be more appealing to your visitors. And the great thing is these tips aren't complicated, but the fact is if you're not doing them, you are probably losing their interest really fast. It doesn't matter if you're selling bookings or getting clicks with AdSense. It's very important that you pay attention to these 2 tips, which are going to help you make more money in the travel and tourism business. Alright, first tip is using travel pictures. You'd think this be an obvious one since it is travel, but daily I see scores of travel websites that don't have any or many pictures whatsoever. And, you know, travel is sort of that world where all the senses matter. It's really an overall experience. Travel content that just doesn't have any sort of graphical presence at all is just really not good content, and it's probably not going to lead to the transactions that you desire. Not having travel pictures on your travel site is kind of like the best chef in the world serving his prized creation to someone with no mouth. All right. I'd like to submit to you that every article that you put out there, if possible, should have at least one good picture. You know, one picture about the area or somebody doing something. You know, it's been said a million times over that a picture's worth 1,000 words. And really, a picture just helps sort of set off your content. Now, I'm going to show you real quick. I'm going to go over to another site, ItalyVacationer.com, which is a travel site for Italy, and just kind of show you what pictures can do for you. And as you see on your screen now, I'm at Italy Vacationer, and you can see that this site does use pictures with their articles, and it makes a big difference. It's more pleasing to the eye, it brings the reader in, and even if your goal is nothing but having the reader click off on AdSense, this is a good thing to do. And even though it's beyond the scope of this article, having pictures is also good for other search engine traffic, etc. benefits. The second tip I want to discuss with you today is the use of travel videos. Now, while creating your own travel videos might be a bit much, you do have alternatives. For instance, YouTube, YouTube.com, is full of travel videos that you can simply add to your website. You know, you can just embed them right in. And just the other day, I found a fantastic travel video showcasing the New Year's Eve fireworks in a particular city. I'm not sure, it might have been taken a year or 2 ago. But, you know, within minutes, these videos were added to a travel site that I operate, one of the many I do operate, and automatically there was more value for the visitors. There was another way to pull people into the site to do what I'd like them to do. And earlier today I went searching for videos for another city, and in about 2 minutes I found a great 8-minute video tour that I put on the website. Now, when selecting videos to display, here's a guide that you might wish to follow. Always watch the entire video first to ensure it's what you want, and most importantly that there are no surprises in the video. You know, you're watching a video on maybe visiting Seattle, and all of a sudden there's this bunch of girls in bikinis doing who knows what. So just, you know, take a few minutes, watch that video, make sure it does what you want it to do. If possible, try to stay away from videos that have advertisements in them, such as site URLs and ads and so forth. Might be difficult depending on what exactly you're looking for, but if you have two equally good videos or pretty close in quality, you'd choose the one that didn't have any ads or whatnot. Another thing that you can do is just look at the ratings the video has received. As long as it's received more than 1 or 2 ratings, which might be just the owner, is it gives you a little preview of how your visitors will actually value that video. So you get a kind of glimpse into, how your visitors are going to actually like it when they see it. If the video seems particularly amateur in nature and you're worried about it damaging your professional image, you could also mention who submitted it. Make sure you give credit and just sort of make sure your visitors know that it's not your video. It's coming from YouTube. And as time goes on, more and more people are finally starting to figure out what YouTube is. So it's less of an issue than it was, say, a year, 2 years ago. Your travel site really should be a mixture of media. I wouldn't have just text only on a travel site, even if it's just, you're trying to get AdSense clicks or whatever. Mix it up a little bit. There's a lot of things you can do right there. One of the things that actually wasn't in this article that I did want to mention is if you see amateur travel videos, maybe a couple or whoever's just on a vacation somewhere and they put it up for YouTube. One of the things you can think about doing, depending on your particular needs for your travel sites, is contacting the whoever submitted that video to YouTube and seeing if it is theirs. And if it is, you might be able to work out a pretty cheap licensing agreement, maybe as low as a few bucks to on up to maybe a couple hundred or something. A licensing agreement to use that and brand it with your name and everything on your site, and you could use that in marketing and stuff. That's not in the article. It's just a little tip I wanted to give you. But anyway, that is 2 tips to make your travel site seduce visitors. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. Again, the article, as well as many other articles and a whole bunch of other stuff, is at the ultimate resource for travel site owners and those that want to be travel site owners over at travelsiteowners.com. All right, that's going to do it for this presentation. I'm Jason A. Martin for travelsiteowners.com. Hope you enjoyed it.